Do you think men of today are weak in comparison to, say, 20 years ago?
20 years ago, a man just, if he had problems, regardless of how he felt, he just knew he had to get on with it.
I definitely think like the mentality of like men of today or my generation are a lot more like, quote unquote, like softer, a little bit more like malleable, you know, a little bit more sensitive.
Another big decision is who you have children with.
Like, what would you say, like, it's like the most shape-shifting, life-altering decision a man would make?
The you choose to pursue is everything.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, aliens and people who refuse to identify themselves. We are the Unplug Podcast, and we are here to change your life. We're here to change your life.
60.
Episode 60. We're back in the building and here to give you something serious. We're here to help people unplug from societal norms so they can live life on their own terms.
And I just want to say, if you've been rocking with us from day one, this is to my day ones, from episode 1.
True unpluggers.
When I was stiff.
My name John. Insert.
Now I'm loose.
Yeah.
I'm back.
Yeah.
But episode 60, guys, just want to say a big thank you to those of you who have been liking,
sharing,
subscribing, sharing, viewing, and just really appreciating the value that we're trying to bring to planet Earth, man. We are trying to help people level up in life. If you're at a place where you feel stuck, you feel stagnant, you feel stifled, and you're just not really sure how to move to the next level, this is for you, man.
In today's episode, I want to speak to one specific type of species or sex of the species. The guys, the mandem, right? And I wanted to have an open, honest and transparent conversation in front of you all guys and understand there's a lot of young men that follow us, that subscribe to us and are making monumental changes in their lives right now. And we obviously are from two different generations. So I think this would be a really interesting conversation to understand from your perspective and from my perspective, the big question, what do you think are the biggest decisions a man will have to make in his life, right? And let's just whittle it down to maybe 2 to 3, right? Now, before that, right, what do you even think makes a man?
What makes a man?
Yeah, how do you transition from a boy to a man?
Yeah, I feel the transition from a boy to man is when you now start taking on responsibilities. Like you are now responsible for yourself. Like with all due respect, as far as I'm concerned. And this only really hit me when I kind of left home. Once you now leave the family nest and you have to go out and venture on yourself, now it's you against the world, bro. Do you get me? So now you're fully responsible for yourself. You're fully responsible for, it sounds silly, washing your own clothes.
Yeah.
Paying the bills.
Feeding yourself.
Feeding yourself, bro. Like you're now accountable to you. But the biggest thing for me, as a man is just accountability, understanding that the choices that you make or the decisions that you make are going to affect your future, and the decisions and choices you've made have got you to where you are, and accepting that, and either deciding, are you just going to be happy with how things are, or are you going to try and better your life?
No, I definitely concur. I definitely think what makes you as a man is definitely once you first start taking those level of responsibilities, right? And I feel like boys become men at very different aspects in life. I feel like some people become men very early on in their years because they have to take on a lot of responsibilities. Maybe, unfortunately, they lose both parents. They have to start taking care of their younger sibling. Or maybe people don't mature until a lot later because they've just been comfy, they've just been cushioned, they've just been very content. They've not really had any kind of major responsibilities other than just, getting on the bus or whatever.
And just not grown up.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people are in their 50s and still ain't grown up. I know a few.
Use them shots out, bro.
I know a few, bro.
You know what I mean? So I definitely concur with you in terms of, that's definitely what makes a man. But before we get into like the big question, which is the decisions, do you think men of today are weak? In comparison to, say, like, I don't know, like the average man.
I don't know if I'd say, well, it depends what age group, because we always speak about it. Like me and Freeman were from 2 different generations. I'm a millennial. And you are a Gen Z. And I think there is a different, I think we want the same things, but we want them in different
ways. Yeah.
And that just stems from just, you know, how I was raised, the time I was raised, the upbringing, and just society at the time, like technology. There's a lot of things that mold you as a person, right? Do I think, sorry, your question was, do you think
men of today are weak in comparison to, say, 20 years ago? I think
men 20 years ago are a lot tougher mentally. Like there's this whole thing now about mental health and all that. 20 years ago
wasn't a thing.
It wasn't a thing, bro. Like you just got on with it, whether you liked it or not.
But question though, right? I'm speaking from a lot of my Gen Zs now. Would you say that wasn't a thing because media didn't have reach and access that social media has today to be able to identify what that is, or it was like an undiagnosed disease, or it just simply people just rocked on and got on?
Yeah, I just feel like now people, because of social media, are given a voice to express themselves, which there are positives and negatives from, I believe. 20 years ago, a man just, if he had problems, regardless of how he felt, he just knew he had to get on with it, bro. He couldn't just, you know, sit and talk about he's depressed and this and that. It doesn't matter if you're depressed, bro. You got a family to look after. Your family are relying on you. Whereas, I feel like today's probably, and I need to be specific because, again, you know, we're from different generations. I feel like my generation is probably a little bit tougher. Like, we are from the generation where, like, you just grinded and you worked hard. And that's probably come from, like, you know, having maybe immigrant parents and they instill, like, you know, a whole working hard ethic.
Like, tough,
being tough and, do you know what I mean? Not being soft. Like, it was kind of instilled that if you were soft, you were... Weak. Yeah, for a better word. You were weak. And I feel because of, like I said, society today, social media, people now feel it's okay to just be soft.
Do you think the world would be a lot more advanced if we had men of 20 years ago today, as opposed to like the men that we have now? Or do you think that we're better off now with this kind of new generation? Because from what you said, and I do agree, I definitely think like the mentality of like men of today or my generation are a lot more like, quote unquote, like softer, a little bit more like malleable, you know, a little bit more sensitive.
Yes.
Right? A little bit more sensitive. But I also think with that, it's like, maybe do you think like men of 20 years ago just had like a working hard, but I feel like men of today maybe like work a bit more smarter.
Yeah, I was going to say, I truly believe that we can take some positives from both. I think the positives that we can take from both are, obviously, with your generation, I like that your generation is like, I'm not really trying to work too hard. I do like that. And I try and take elements of that as well. Like, obviously, you need to work hard in whatever you do. But my generation was always work hard. And if you work hard, you'll be successful.
Simple.
But now I know that's not really true because you have people who work hard in their jobs and they're nowhere.
Yeah.
You know? So I like that you guys, your generation has thought, let me work smarter. Let me look at better ways to achieve what I want to achieve, maybe quicker. But I think that's helped because of technology and social media and stuff like that. So I don't think any one of the mindsets or generations is better than the other. I feel we can take, like I said, positives from both. And I think there's negatives from both as well.
But question, scenario, do you think like with my sort of Gen Z mentality and your millennial mentality, if we were to sort of be like swapped, do you think either of us would thrive in like a reverse reality? So where my sort of like, how can I do this as quick as possible kind of thing? Would I survive in your era versus maybe your mentality of like in this current era, me just sort of like working hard with like all the technology and all the access?
I feel like my generation would destroy your generation, bro.
Really?
Yeah, just because I feel like that just whole toughness, like we can go through the mud, bro, and like not even lose any loss of like enthusiasm. I feel like with your generation,
we
the
give
minute
up
things
too
get,
quickly.
you give up too quickly, way too quickly.
Yeah,
it's like something doesn't work for 5 minutes.
Like, just try that.
I'm not doing it. Whereas, like, we know, like generally speaking, life doesn't work like that. And I feel that's one of the problems with social media. Is it makes it look like everything happens overnight. And I feel that's why the younger generation gravitate towards social media, and they look to aspire to see what they see online and try and live that. But a lot of the time it's not real. Do you get me? So when they realize they have to actually do work, it's like, hang on a minute. They didn't tell me I needed to do this work.
Yeah,
this doesn't look like work.
Yeah.
And then they give up, bro.
Yeah. I think that's probably the one critique. But in sort of like our defense, I don't know if you guys would absolutely trump us. We're very innovative. We're very, very innovative. A lot of the bright minds today are from like, getting younger and younger and younger. Intelligence is getting very, very... I'm pretty sure there was like a guy who graduated like college or something at like 13 or 14 years old or something stupid like that. So I definitely think like the minds of today are definitely getting a lot more intellectual. But again, it's a matter of like your mental resilience versus like your intelligence, like cooperates. And I think, definitely like your mental resilience will always kind of like trump, because people give up, people get frustrated, etc., etc. So I think that's a very good point.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm not saying one is better than the other.
No,
I feel like
yeah.
there are negatives to mine.
Yeah.
I feel like my generation almost just accepts comfort as just the norm. Like there's no pushing barriers, there's no like very risk adverse. Like from that generation, go uni, get a job, safe. Safe is good. If you've got a good job, you've got a good career, you're doing well.
That makes sense.
Whereas I feel like your generation has looked at that and thought,
Did that.
I don't want that. I don't want to go uni, get a job, work till I'm 75. For what? I'm seeing people my age making X amount online.
Literally.
And it's like, you see that, you think, if they can do it, and I like that.
Yeah.
I do like that. So like I said, I don't think either is right. And I feel we all want the same things. We just, because of the time where we grew up, we just see things a little bit differently and do things a little bit differently. But I truly believe if we can take bits from both, then you can be unstoppable, man.
110%. Now, sort of going back more so into the title of today's ep, right, in terms of like what are the most important decisions a man has to make, what do you think is like the earliest and the most important decision a young man has to make in his life? Like, what would you say like is like the most shape-shifting, life-altering decision a man will make?
His career. What he decides to do with his life. That shapes everything, bro. I think I've told this story before. When I was like 19, I had an opportunity to go and work for the London Underground at 19 years old. And I would have been on, at the time, may not sound like a lot, but at the time, I'm sure it was like 28,000 as a 19-year-old.
That's good money now, bro. That's good money now. That's like the average London wage now.
And then I also had the opportunity to set up my first business. And I feel I obviously chose the entrepreneurial route, which is set up my business. And I just feel like it shaped everything about me, like my mindset, my mentality, my character, how I see the world. It made me see that there's more to life than just going and getting a job. And not that there's anything wrong with getting a job.
Yeah.
I want to be very clear on that. But I just feel if you only have ever worked in your life, you only see that as the only way to live your life. But that is not the only way to live your life. It's a comfortable way to live, but it's not the only way. And I feel that shaped who I am today, how I see life, the things that I'm doing, the things that I've learned, the things that I've experienced. I feel like if I did go and get a job, my life would have turned out completely different. So in answer to your question, for me personally, the career you choose to pursue is everything.
So interesting. I wouldn't have thought that. I feel like for me, I always say a big thing to a lot of people. Like, so I've Nigerian descent. Like my parents come from Nigeria, born in Nigeria, and I always have like a lot of cousins or a lot of people like in photo countries say, oh, like Freeman, if I had the same opportunity as you, I would definitely be successful and etc. So I say that to say this. I feel like a big thing is not necessarily the opportunity, but information. So I feel like one of the most earliest decisions that I think like a young man has to make is the level of consumption of information that he needs to consume, right? And I feel like that massively would have shaped a lot more because, you only know what you know, right? And I feel like by me working corporate at a young age as opposed to going uni massively opened my mind. It massively opened me to like the world of opportunities and new expectations that I could have. Whereas if I just went to uni and kind of just went through the system, I would have had a very tunneled vision to like outlook of life. So I feel like try to be a lot more open-minded, like do extracurricular activities, try to learn the language, try to like go outside your comfort zone, experience other cultures. And I feel like just be curious, right? Like being as curious as possible, because I feel like that gives you an opportunity to more careers or businesses or opportunities that you can have. And I feel like that would massively like shape me. And when I look at a lot of guys or men my age who like are super successful, a big thing is like we traveled a lot as a family, or like they were privately educated, so it meant like they networked with a lot of people from all around the world, or they did like loads of extracurricular activities, like things like I never did things like scouts or like any like major like extra school activities. Like bro, it was literally after school, read your book, go home. Like that was it. And so that's what my parents knew. Yeah, closed off. So you know what I mean? So like even like sometimes like in this stage, like when people talk about like certain foods and like going like restaurants, I was always being educated, like flipping, I don't know basic stuff. You know what I mean? So I feel like a big thing for me is like just like the consumption of information and knowledge. Like try to read, or like there's even like these new apps where like you can consume books in 15 minutes and stuff like that. Like just try to expose yourself to new for the Gen Z, you know,
to learn stuff quick.
You know what I mean? Forget reading a book page to page, 15 minutes, quick things. But I think that's like one of the from my perspective anyway.
I'm gonna add one more because this has been and had a major impact in my life. Another big decision is who you have children with.
Yeah, the woman.
Like the woman. The woman you have children with can make or break your life, bro. So be very careful who you decide to have children with. And I know my millennials right now who have children and things have gone left. They're like, but I wish I knew this information 10 years ago. Yeah. But yeah, like the person you have kids with.
Would you think like it's a big... So I'm not trying to give relationship advice or whatnot right now. Obviously, these are all like kind of like our personal opinions being expressed. But what do you say are some things that a young man should look at when trying to find that mate that they should, you know, have children with or spend the rest of their life with?
I suppose, does this person demonstrate qualities that you'd like to see in your child?
In your child,
Would they be a positive role model? How are they brought up? What was their childhood like? What's their family like? Do you get me? What's their relationship like with their parents? Because it will tell you a lot.
I like that.
It will tell you a lot.
Yeah, I like that.
Like, yeah, it will tell you a lot.
Yeah, I think that's a big thing. I think that definitely goes without saying. Like your mate, the person who you decide to spend the rest of your life with, or decide to have kids with, that can be like a massive influential factor, because that can either like make you or like break you or keep you where you are.
Totally. And I feel as well, like just their mindset, how they see the world, because ultimately they're going to be instilling that into your child. So yeah, how do they see the world? Are they a pessimist? Are they an optimist? You know, like what are they doing with their life? Like, do you want to have a child with someone who's a bum?
Yeah,
because that tells you a lot, bro.
Yeah,
like,
literally.
Like, what? Who are they? What's their goals? What's their aspiration? How do they see the world? Are they a negative person? Are they a positive person? Like, what have they experienced? What have they gone through? What's your life like? Who are you?
Thoughts? Like, when do you think is like a right time to, because like people are just getting cuffed early these days. I'm hearing like, you know, I've got friends since they was in secondary school and they've got kids by like 2021. Like, what's your thoughts on like young men and like in terms of when they should, you know, find that partner? Like, when do you think, like, is it like a thing of just like focusing your career, then get to where you want to be? But then some other people say, you know, having the right woman can get you to where you need to be further. I'm seeing all these stats that, you know, if you want to 10x your wealth, you should be married and this and that. Like, what's your sort of thoughts on?
I feel like first and foremost, work on yourself. Don't go looking. Like, if it's meant to be, it will be. Don't force it. I feel like in this day and age, a lot of people force being in relationships for being in relationships' sake, just to say they're in a relationship.
Facts.
Or they see their friends in relationships.
Facts.
They see their friends getting married, engaged, and they feel, raw, I'm getting left behind. And then they force it, bro.
Yeah. You end up someone that you just don't want to be
that you don't want to be, or you shouldn't have been with.
Yeah.
or you were focusing on someone else when you should have been focusing on yourself. So my first thing is just work on you as a person and as an individual, and you know, eventually that person will come. You know, if it's meant to be, it will be.
Meant to be. No, I really, really like that, and I, you know, like to emulate that as well in my life. So cool, boom. So they've got the career. They've been consuming the right level of knowledge. They've understood, cool, boom, this is the type of person or the characteristics of the individual that I want to spend the rest of my life with, or, you know, have be the mother to my kids. What would you say sort of that next step now? We're probably getting into like, you know, mid-20s now, early 30s. Like, what would you say is like the next key decision a man has to make in their life?
After kids.
After kids, or maybe just about to have kids. That kind of age range, like 25 to 35.
Probably your circle of people around you.
Your environment now.
Your environment. Yeah, your environment. I think your environment shapes who you are.
That's a big one, man.
Yeah, your environment shapes you. And just being around like just positive people. Again, not everyone wants to be this super successful, but it's nice to be around people who can give you good advice, because you don't have all the answers. I don't have all the answers. You don't have the answers. But I know if I'm ever in doubt, I can get on the phone and call you, and I can get some good advice and vice versa, bro. And I think that's priceless. I feel like sometimes we probably don't even evaluate like your environment, where you live, who you're around, who you allow in your circle.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of negativity out in this world, bro. There's 100%. A lot of negative people who are not happy.
Yeah, at all.
And they can, if you're not careful, like
just spite you.
Yeah.
Spite you.
And push that negativity onto you. You know, so just being around positive people that are trying to do things in their life, want to see you do well, you want to see them do well, and yeah, I think it's important, man.
No, I really like that, because I feel like, especially when you get to that age, like your mid-20s, early 20s, early 30s, you're now probably in the first time in your life where you can now actually create your environment. Because I'd probably say pretty much up until you're born till like early 20s, like your environment is kind of like created for you on behalf of your parents or your upbringing. Pretty much up until 18, there's not much you can do about your environment. There's not as limited so much. You can do some stuff, but you're limited. You're limited. But I'd probably say this is the first time now you can now start creating your environment. And it's like a lot of time. And that's also like another thing I also want to chuck in is like timing, especially in my generation. Like comparison is, it's
thief of joy.
The biggest thief. It's criminal. Like comparison is crazy. I'm guilty of it. I know a lot of people are guilty of it, and I feel like that's such a big thing, and I think that holds a lot of people back.
And makes a lot of people unhappy.
Very unhappy.
And again, I think because, you know, like I said before, social media, whereas 20 years ago, there wasn't that I could see what other people
just like, is he my neighbor?
Yeah, like...
What's he pulling up in?
Yeah, you didn't know that. Whereas now people go online and post that they're in hair, they're wearing this, they're wearing that. So you naturally feel like, if you're not doing that, I'm behind. But then I always say a lot of what you see on social media is not even real anyway. So... Yeah,
facts.
Yeah, like stay in your lane, man.
No,
don't worry about other people, bro. Especially if you're on your mission and you know where you're going and what you're trying to do. Most people are lost, bro. Most people are lost. So, yeah, they try and make themselves feel better by portraying a certain image that is 9 times out of 10 just a lie, bro.
Lie, bro.
So, yeah.
No. Bro, I thoroughly enjoyed this episode. I feel like this was really, really beneficial. And I really wish I had a conversation like this. You know, I'm obviously still growing up, you know, I'm still kind of like getting into my shoes and, you know, becoming the man that I want to be. But I feel like we have got a lot of young kings who are lost, who need a bit of guidance, who need a bit of like realness to say, like, you know, like there's no facade here. Like you got two not polarizing, but like two different perspectives. You know what I mean? I feel like there's a lot to take from this episode, you know what I mean, in terms of like your partner, your career, your circle, your mindset, you know, not comparing from anyone. So yeah, bro, I feel like this is a solid episode.
No, I love that. No, I appreciate it.
I really like it. But guys, please always make sure you're liking, you're sharing, you're subscribing. Please, like, just share this with a friend, share this with your brother, share this with your uncle, share this with your dad. You know what I mean?
If he's around.
If he's around, you know what I mean? Pen pal him. Guys,
find him, man. Reunite.
Literally.
Life is short, man.
Them ones. But guys, please make sure You liking, you're sharing, you're subscribing. Tell a friend, tell your mum, tell your dad if you can find him and his mistress. Please.
Episode 60, guys.
Big 60.
Come on, man. We made it.
We're here. We're live. But guys, if you appreciate this, make sure you comment. Let us know what else you want to discuss. And as always, love.
Elevate.